thanks everyone for joining us now, and whoever's going to tune in later, because I'm sure we'll record this and put it out there. We've had a great response to what we put out now. We've launched on Steam. So again, just thanks to everyone. People have been sharing the motion comic from our art team. That's super exciting to see. The one reason why we kind of thought we'd do a live Q&A instead of our normal devlog where we show game footage on that is because really the motion comic itself, it took a long time for our team to put it together. So we have a lot of like mechanically behind the scenes like stuff we've been working on art wise, and what the juicy stuff everyone really wants to see. That's had to take a step that had to put on the back burner while we did the motion comic. So now we're full front on making all the assets for the game again. So the next, I mean, unless the live Q&A works out so well that we keep this format, we might still do it in the future, but we do want to keep switching back to the devlog showing game footage as well.
I have a
Anyways,
question
yes, Steve.
for the ones just joining us. What is the what you're talking about, and what is that awesome? Is it this crazy game that the kids keep talking about called Thrive? Heavy Lies the Crown with our Steam
Hopefully you
page?
see it like under me.
Right
Thrive, Heavy
there.
Lies the Crown.
Without further ado, are you ready to answer some questions, Greg?
Oh, that's what we're here for. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready to ask
thanks for everyone
them.
that like posted questions, that wrote in, asked questions, and if you have questions, you can write, I think, on Discord in our stream channel, and we'll try to get to the ones that we can to. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
First and foremost, when and where will Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown launch?
Thrive will launch. We're trying to get March 2023, and it will launch on Steam for obvious reasons. We have our page up already, and I mean, we want to go Epic, probably GOG. Honestly, wherever any market that we can put our game on, we'll try to put it on there. Unless, of course, in the future someone offers us an exclusive deal or something like that, then I mean, we will obviously be open to those kind of things. But as of now, we're going to put the game on all markets. Well, that's on PC markets anyways.
Next question. Is Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown real time, or is it going to be a turn-based game?
Yeah, that's a good question, because a lot of people ask that. It has, you can, when you look at it, it's hard to tell sometimes. So it will be real time. No turn base. Everything will happen. All the trading, battles, your town, other people's towns, all happening at the same time.
Are there better unlockable buildings and multiple upgrade pathways in order to avoid repetitive city building?
Yes. Usually like, again, I just say city builders term. Hopefully people know what a city builder is, I guess, to begin with. We're trying to create like a town where the people, the individual's needs. You grow that town bigger and bigger. The bigger the town gets, the more usually needs they want, luxury items and items to survive. And then usually in typical city builder, that kind of ends at like the pinnacle of that loop there. But we always found that we want to go a little bit farther and add like combat. So you would have to defend with things in the world and have more than one town. So you would have to trade between your own towns, because a lot of times you wouldn't have every production item all in one area. So we want to have people moving goods between different towns that they own, and even trading between towns they don't own. Going further than that, we also have 2 pathways you can pick from. Not really, pick from is a tough word. You will have to eventually go between 2 pathways that the ideologies of your peoples will eventually change depending on how you kind of play the game. So you're going to have multiple pathways to pick from. Your actual towns will look different depending on your pathways you pick from, and that will add a lot of variety in your play styles.
In your kingdom that you are overseeing, your fiefdom, if you would, can rebellions happen?
Oh yes.
Can you?
In any kingdom, people are going to be happy, they're going to be sad. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions that even though you want to make your people happy, they won't be. And they're probably going to tell you. Sometimes they might peacefully just leave. Other times, they're going to get the pickets out and probably start burning some things. So, yes, your people will definitely rebel if you treat them poorly.
So we already talked about the 2 different paths. So do you have to choose?
And if we're going to, let's label those paths. We call them benevolence and tyranny.
So one thing that I saw, and one thing that some of the early founders saw in a playable proof of concept and other things, and I played around in it, was the ability to go into the first person, like a first person view.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we go into first person mode, you're asking?
th-
I pre-read these questions. Can you tell?
Look at you go. Get out of my head. No, no, no.
Ah!
He's clairvoyant.
Anyways, so with the first person mode, it's like just juice on the game. It's not meant to be a main feature, but if you have a wall, it would be nice since you have a king to be able to stand on that wall, look over your town, walk through your village and see your people working. So it gives you more connection to your townspeople. So we definitely wanted to include that. In saying that, it's a city builder game. So everyone knows that you get the top down, you can move the camera around a bit, but you don't get that super zoomed in. So our building assets aren't meant to be first person shooter AAA. You look like you're 2 feet away and you see the reflections of yourself off the window. You're not going to see that. But you'll be able to walk around your town and you'll have the village and your people working and you'll be able to experience the town and the world. And I believe you have a weapon and there's some light combat where you could actually do. Now putting your king in a combat role is dangerous though, so I would be careful with that to begin with, but he does have a weapon.
There was an awesome question within our Discord chat. Where did the idea of multiple paths come from, or like where was the inspiration?
I mean, lots of games have that. For us specifically, I would say probably Black and White, where you got to choose. In our game, we don't like to use the words good and evil because they're so set and like very obvious which is which. But those pathways and how they changed your towns, that was both myself and Brandon. We loved that growing up and always wanted to kind of put that back into a game again.
This one was tricky. I had to Google what the acronym meant.
I was wondering
Do
if you're
you,
going to use the acronym or just say it.
did you see? No, I wanted to explain because I will
Okay.
say what it is.
Good.
First, the question was, are you using GOP for your peasant AI algorithm? For those of you just joining us, or for those of you who are like, what the F is GOP? I will feed you, baby birds. GOP is goal oriented action planning. So are we using GOP or goal
Yeah. So
oriented
that's a type
action
of like
planning AI?
AI program. Yeah. So I'm not a programmer myself, but I did ask our head programmer Garrett, and he said we're not using it for that purpose, but we're using it actually in our enemy kingdom. So the enemy kingdom that is the person that lived in the land that you're coming to and is, I would guess, not happy you're there. That guy, he is using the GOP system on his people.
Can the game just be played single player, or do you have to use the multiplayer suite of services? This one individual who asked this question is not a fan of PvP, and just enjoys playing solo. Will there be a campaign mode that he can enjoy in solitude?
Well, don't tell anyone, Steve. I'm not actually a big fan of PvP either. I'm old and people just kill me. But saying that, we still want PvP in our game. Now, our game is not a PvP centric game. It's not an RTS. Get my hands up high enough. You can see the quotes. It's not an RTS game where like we're trying to be on esports or anything like that. It's a city builder with multiplayer. So you can play with your friends. You don't have to play with your friends. The campaign will work single player. It will work multiplayer. Doesn't matter. You can play in a sandbox mode, and I believe you can even just have sandbox mode with multiplayer or not, or campaign with multiplayer or not.
If we wanted to make it an esport, could we?
Oh, for sure. I totally encourage. I would love to see Thrive esport battles.
Right?
Definitely.
Great.
I will never
Greg,
stop that.
Greg and I will be doing color commentary on the
Oh yes.
broadcasts. One of the reasons why you can't finish our game in just 40 minutes is the scale and size of our maps, or scale and size of the world in Thrive. So, Greg, the question is, how big is our world map, or how big will our world map be?
Well, currently the map we have released builds, and the map we've been kind of using our demo map technology on the builds we've been releasing, so no one's actually seen the actual real map. The actual real map we've been now going to put out for hopefully our next devlog and the next build we release to our VIPs on Thrive on Discord is about 25 kilometers squared, I believe.
25 kilometers. That's still quite a size, though, eh?
Well, we're trying to go realistic sizes. for our buildings. Again, since we're not an RTS, we want things to look real. We want people to kind of be able to walk into doors and look like they can use the buildings they use. So where people are just under a meter, just the map is 25 meters, 25 kilometers squared. You can kind of do, you can do the math. Like it's very big. It would take a player, like in our game, we have day and night cycles. So it will take you more than a day to walk across our map as a person.
When you have battles, how big will the battles be in game?
So we want to create a medieval game where you can have a castled area, a defended city, and then you need to be able to destroy that city. So we felt that the army sizes would probably get to the in the hundreds. I don't know if you I mean there's no limit technically in these games. You can keep going as long as you can pump out your people and you can have the resources to do it. Are unlike most games, your military will still take food. They will still take resources. So you can't just make endless units. But we want you to have at least enough units to look like you could defeat a castle. So I would guess that like you would send 500 guys to destroy a castle. I mean, you'd have some, trebuchets and maybe a battering ram, et cetera, et cetera. But it's up to the player really what they want to build for their scale of units, but we don't want to limit them. So we were guessing around probably 500 is a good walking army that you send out, and then each of your towns would have some armies as well to defend. So yeah,
Thank you.
we look forward to showing off some battle stuff actually soon. We're been a while. I was clicking guys on walls this morning, so good times.
Ooh.
I'm just reading a question here on Discord I can answer here from Tiny Demon here. So besides barbarians, is there any other plans for NPCs that could cause a problem? Yes. So there will be an enemy kingdom, which is like the main kind of ruler of the land before you showed up. There will be small towns that you can trade with that will have their own kind of political leanings. And then, yes, also like the nomadic, just barbarian kind of clans that show up on the map. I mean, the map will also have animals that will both be, that some might be, what would be aggressive, I guess you could say, as well. And then I can answer the next question too from Agnarak.
Look at you. You're just on
Yeah,
it.
let's do it. I'm just going.
Bef-
Let's go. Because these are good questions.
He's
Yes,
just
there will be a
ripping.
system for
He's
alliances.
ripping, ladies and
You can
gentlemen.
you can alliance with other since it is a multiplayer game, you could alliance with your friends, or you could alliance with other towns as well.
I met a gentleman by the name of Tyler Horseth Agnew asks a question on Facebook. Also related to battles. So, will battles be on the map around the city, or will it be a loaded battle scene like in Rome or like in what's the
Sure,
game
I know what you're talking
Warhammer?
about in those other games. Yeah, where they have like the instances where you battle. Nope, everything will be on the live map. You will not load into a world to see your fight.
Ooh, thank you, sir, and thank you, Tyler, and thank you, guys and gals in the chat. Keep them coming. We're loving it. We're riffing it. So with Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown, are we gonna have mod support?
Oh yes. I mean, we're already writing the game in a way that people that don't code, such as myself, we have a system where I can implement new buildings. You can make your own recipes. A lot of the game will be easily moddable right from the gate, as far as we can tell. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what other people come up with and how they kind of alter the game too to see what they want to do. It's a great way to share the community with the community, I feel like.
So in the game as well too, are we going to be able to control individuals in the inventory, or are we going to be controlling the squads?
All
Like
right.
when
Yeah, when you click, everyone will be an individual. Obviously, there's always the nice function where you add the quality of life, where you can put like control one. You can squad up your troops, but that doesn't mean you can't click on the individual troop and then use them individually, as well as your townspeople. You don't click on and then move them because it's not an RTS game, but you can click on every townspeople to see their needs and wants and what they're doing.
ooh. So when you have your townspeople, can you like cuss like your faction or your fiefdom? I'm riffing, but it's not too much of a question. I know it's an easy answer, Greg. I'm not throwing you a curveball.
Sure.
Can you like customize your banner that you're waving in
Of course,
battle or?
yes. So we're gonna be able to customize what your king kind of looks like. Is we will also customize like you'll have a flag, and you'll probably have like a team color to keep your to what you're so you can see yourself on the map nicely.
Ooh.
Color is nice. We want to put some color in there.
Oh, this is a really good question on Facebook.
And
People,
honestly, I don't know if I should. This is kind of like we wanted to also have the banner be created in your game at the so once you create a building, I don't even know if I should spill all this. Anyways, at the
no,
tannery, once you create that, so you can create like your stuff and stuff like that, that's when you'll be able to throughout the game, you actually be able to create more things to show off throughout the world. So I don't want to spoil too much. And as
I
far
can.
as yeah, I forgot one thing about so with the units too. If a unit so you have your townspeople and your military, and I kind of said that they were kind of different, like but in the end they're interchangeable because you need the person in the town is the military unit. You need that person to switch into a military role, and that person still has a house. They still eat from their house, and they have a spouse and they have children. If that military unit dies, there will be an impact on that house and the kingdom if you lost a lot of so you don't want to that's another reason I forgot about that when we were talking about the troop numbers. I want to just add that, yeah, so your troops are not just once you became a troop you're just a troop forever, a number. You're still a person in the city, and your death would mean a lot to your family and negatively, I assume. And saying that, positive fights and winning battles can help your people cheer up a bit too. So
Sometimes the weather occurs, and weather is something that we wanted to. Are you like my preamble before I dive into the question?
greatest. It's the greatest.
How will the weather influence gameplay?
So yeah, whether we have a live map, we will have seasons. We have a day and night cycle. So days go by, seasons go by. In those seasons, the weather would represent those seasons. So you can have heat, excess heat in the summers. You can have excess cold in the winters. You need to have clothing and firewood and etc. for to survive those things. Yeah, I want to answer from Agnarak here. She said, or the person said, um, we're going to be able to host our own server game that we load start when we want for multiplayer. So yeah, it'll totally be on the computer. It won't be a server based game. The game will be a save load, just like any other multiplayer game. As long as your friends there to play with you, if you played with them, they'll be able to join in. I can answer another question about the just somebody had a follow up to the weather, as there would be weather difficulties. Like we will have temperatures in the game, so literally you'll see the temperature drop if a blizzard hits an extra like whatever degrees, and we have it so that certain amount of degrees equal certain bad things. So you'll need a lot of you would need all your best winter gear, as in like your best house, your best heating, your best clothing to survive the harshest of the weather. I hope that answers that.
Is there a diversity of factions?
Yeah, so we kind of talked about that with benevolence and tyranny. Um, and then yeah, you start not as one of those as well, so you could kind of count that as a third, I guess. You're showing up to the new land, and then as you decide, you kind of forge the one way or the other, benevolence or tyrannical.
Someone is also asking about the weather. People are really into the weather right now, and I don't know
Sweet.
if it's.
It's on everyone's mind.
It is, right? I know, right? Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. Throwing these questions on once again. Oh no! See, that's what I'm doing. More than one keyboard, baby. I'm control Ving on one keyboard when I should be control Ving on the other. Oh me.
So a timeline countdown for weather patterns.
Yeah, like can you predict the weather? Can it help you predict the
So
weather?
as a city builder, you can't really just surprise people too much. So we'll have for one, the seasons are always the same. So like there's the same amount of days in a season every time. The seasons last the same amount of periods. There's 4 seasons a year, so at least that will help players know that like in winter these things happen, in summer these things happen. So at least there's that you know that you have your time to at least get to there. And as far as blizzards, I mean, we might not tell you the exact second it's going to hit, but we definitely will give you hints, and there will be technologies in the game to allow you to better figure out those patterns for sure. Yeah, there's a question here from Infinite Regrets. In general, what kind of design patterns are mostly used in the implementation of Thrive? I guess the easiest answer would be, I guess, structural and behavior are the 2 main design patterns. Let's be honest here. I got the answer structural behavior from our dev guy. I will get Garrett to message you personally, Infinite Regrets.
Can I Will? Okay, this is another question that just dropped.
Yep.
Will there be bonuses and penalties for various land areas built in, or does the area that one builds not matter?
Bonuses and penalties for various land areas. Trying to think how that would. So, trying to think of the question how to play into our game. Will there be bonuses in various land areas? I guess the bonuses are the resources in those land areas and the strategic places on the map, I guess. And penalties would be some of the areas are harder to get to. And again, we have a roadway system in areas like it's a giant. Yeah. So in a way, yes, but I don't think it would in the way that you're saying, like, do you get just because you own this territory, like plus 10 to this or something? Not so far. We haven't done that. It's mostly based off what's in the piece that you're owning. And where that piece is located, I'd say, is the most benefit penalty. I mean, there is a cost to owning other pieces. So just in that, there is a cost just to own other things. So there is a penalty there, I guess. Penalty is a hard word because you want to own them anyways. So there's a cost, I guess, to say. And then the penalty would be if you overextend yourself and people get angry, I guess.
Colby, doing double duty on the Facebooks and the Discord, asks us, how did we all come together to work on Thrive? Did we all know each other beforehand, or did we have a team? Yeah. So how did the team all come together to make Thrive? Y'all.
So Zulu's been around for like a while now, 6, 7 years. And we've been kind of growing. We started just as like 2 people and then 3, 4. We're not huge by any means. And most of us are just locally from Calgary. And we met at meetups and just have a kind of general love for the game, for games.
Megan asks on Facebook, will there be multiple races? Will there be multiple races like orcs or trolls? Will there be monsters to fight, or will you be sticking to humans and regular type encounters?
As playable characters, it's going to be humans. For one, like you're going to be playing with you as your friend. We might add in like you could change your character to look different, maybe as your race but right now mostly human. We do live in a fantastical world in the game, so not just reality-based things in our world have to exist in that world. So we will have some extra fantastical things, but the playable people are just humans.
One way we've answered that question in the past is yes, for now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If folks are having a great time in the world of Thrive,
well, it's a game we want to work on and build constantly, even after release. So
yes, so we'll definitely work on cool ways of adding that. Brian built upon your response to the tech G question, and he said, "Ooh, I think that's how you got your ooh." Hey, Brian. Ooh, multiple ways to unlock // organic sounds pretty cool. building on that, are there dangerous animals in the world?
Yeah, so we're gonna have animals to hunt. Well, I guess there's kind of two. So there'll be animals like fish and stuff like that that you just collect, I guess, um, for food and hide, bones, etc. And then there will be the roaming animals that you will need military assistance, let's say, to make sure they don't hurt your people.
Now we will do a last call for questions on the Discord chat and Facebook chat. Last call for questions.
But yeah, I mean, while we're kind of like just reading in the last ones, I mean, yeah, I'm even impressed at how many people are showed up live. It's been awesome to get the reactions we've been getting. I mean, so good to get positive reactions to something you're making. And
So
hopefully this
I
works out that people like the Q&A live. Maybe we'll do it again. It seems pretty easy. At least we don't have to do a lot of edits.
and that's the thing too. What we're going to do at the end of this, not only are we going to upload the abridged version of this Q&A onto our YouTube, onto our Facebook, but we are also going to use these questions and said that take two and action. Wait, I can do that. I can do a clapboard, folks. But anyways, we're gonna build a FAQ, and all these questions will live there in perpetuity, so folks can regale themselves and be like, they can look with pride on the questions they asked, but also we can go back to them. So if someone asks us a question in the Discord or on our socials, I can be like, I have a response for that. And what I was really excited to share is that I do have a clapboard. So whenever I fuck up, I can be like, and cut, and action. It's broken. Anyways, once again, last call for questions.
And yeah, we're just kind of having some jokes in here. I mean, yeah, I can answer. I don't know. I want to guess how you say your name there. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let's. What makes Thrive unique from other similar games? So what we're trying to do is take a city builder, add combat, which other games have done, but then we also want to add we're adding like almost like RPG is a big word to use because a lot of people think of it as a single character, but you could think of our entire way of life, our ideology as the RPG in this game, and that will really you'll have to guide your people through a lot of decision making also to help path the how your people will grow and what they want to do in the future. Another unique thing that we want to have or we have is multiplayer. Most of the games, I mean, I play, they're always single player, and you don't get to play with your friends. So I feel like that's a great thing to add to city builders. I mean, I remember playing SimCity many years ago, and that game was some people might say some people say good, some people bad, but I know we had a lot of fun just because it was multiplayer. So
And believe you me, guys and gals, Greg has a lot of friends. So now to have freedom to play with them online is fantastic.
yeah, and like yeah, we have the benevolence tyranny, the vast like the big open world land you can explore. We have I mean, and then yeah, the waging the war. It's all comes together in a nice package.
Zuglu Z just submitted a question in the chat. Thank you, Zuglu Z. You little mensch. Megan asked a question via Zuglu Z, and the question was, will will our units armor or clothing change depending on the weather? Like, will more fur coats come out when it gets cold?
So there's kind of two answers to that. So your military and your townspeople are separated technically by that because a military unit needs armor to be a military unit. So the military stuff can be warmer or colder, and then the individual unit itself, will they? I guess it was will they change appearance is the question, right? So yes, we want if they wear if they wear like a winter coat, that they would have a winter coat on, and if they put hide armor on, they have hide armor, and if they put chain armor on, they look like they have chain armor.
Colby on Facebook said, "Ha, this went right. This has gone really well so far." And Colby, we agree. This
I hope
has
so.
This has gone beyond our expectations. When Greg and I were chatting about this, we had no idea how this was going to turn out, and I think that this is our first town hall, but it certainly won't be our last. We will have Greg coming back and having chit chats. We'll have members of our dev team. We'll have members of our
I look
art
forward to
team.
those.
We'll have members of our story team. Greg is looking forward to having other members of our team featured so that he can be the casual observer and not have to be the one rocking grim rock all this time. So, oh, that is a really great question. Thank you, Tyler. This question is for me and me only, Greg. I don't think you'll really appreciate this. So, Tyler asks, what kind of beard oils and balms do I use? Great question. I'm glad you asked. So, I use a product. I use two different. Well, I could go on this for hours, but I use two different beard oils. One is through Mammoth Beard Company, and the other one is from Digger's Beard Company, and they are locally made in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and they have great products at really great prices, and it keeps it dry and not scratchy. Um, and it's just it's just fun to just it's just fun to ponder with a beard. And I'm just like, great question. Oh wait, speaking of questions, Brian is asking, since the soldiers are part of the town, do they have needs?
Yes. So the town. So when they are within the province that they live in, and that's where their house is, they will take food from their house. They'll take water from their house. Um, Once they leave the province, we have it's called a military caravan that goes with your units and supplies them with the on the go food and water and supplies. So your military units always need supplies. Not only that, but their armor will degrade and wear out. Their weapons will degrade and wear out. You will have to resupply them with weapons and food and everything. It's going to be awesome.
Dare I say it's going to be totes awesome?
I wouldn't say that.
Yep, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Totes or toots. But I think this is a great time to wrap things up for now. We can continue to chat with folks
Yeah,
on
tune in.
Discord. Um, but yeah, the Facebook Live portion of it is going to wrap up now. I will still be on for a little bit on our Discord, just video chatting with the folks. But Greg, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Steve.
And thank you all for joining us. Once again, we'll have a little chit chat offline, a little after party, if you would, on our Discord. But thank you again for tuning in to our first town hall for Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown. My name's Steve Hodges. The person to my left or your right is.
Yeah, that's me, Greg Forsyth.
And we want you all to be safe and make great choices.